Hey folks, welcome back to Dan's Auto Diagnostics and Repair. Today we're working on a 2011 GMC Sierra 1500 four-wheel drive, 116,900 miles on it, and it needs a motor mount. The customer complaint is it lurches forward when you hit the gas. It kind of lurches forward, and I took a look under the hood, and the motor's banging once you hit that gas and it torques. You can see that motor mount's wore out. I'll show you. As you can see, that motor moves quite a bit, so we got to switch it out. So here's our new part. Got the heat shield on it, nice and shiny. Looks about the same as that down there. There's the heat shield, you can see, of the old one. And it's quite a process to get in there, so let's get after it. There's the box for the new part. There's the new part number from O'Reilly's Auto, Charlie 3211. And typically I always go with OEM, but it's not a cam or crank sensor or anything like that. This should be fine. So my plan of attack is to take out this intermediate shaft for the steering here, the steering leakage. Hopefully I can get all of that out of the way and get down to them bolts down in there, and then just kind of blindly get to the other ones up underneath that heat shield, and then figure out a way to tip this motor up and lean it back so that I can insert the new one. Let's try that, because service data says I gotta do all kinds of crazy stuff. Maybe I'll post that on there, but it's quite a process. I'm gonna try the easier route. Well, there it is. She's out. That was kind of difficult to get out, but now I have better access to it. Hopefully that's going to be enough. I'm not sure, but hopefully. Alright, I finally got all of the bolts out of there. There's 3 in the bottom there, and then the other 4 you can't even see. I had to take the tire off, so the tire's off, and the last one, you can see it right there, and it looks like it would be easy to get to and everything be all hunky-dory, but it is not. Took me about a half hour to get that one out. So now we gotta lift the engine somehow and then get the motor mount out to put the new one in. Alright, we got it out. We jacked the engine up from the bottom and we were able to sneak this thing out. Now you can see that torn up motor mount. Look at that. That's how it's supposed to look. Nice and in one piece. That. Not looking good. Wow, that thing cracked all the way through. Alright, let's get the new one in. There's the empty void. Man, it is so difficult to get to. But at least we didn't have to do everything that the ALLDATA said. We took an easier route. Alright, that was a bear, but I finally got it in. I'll show you here. There she is. In place. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. Alright, before I put that shaft in, I got to put the steering shaft back in, but before I do that, I'm going to get in, fire it up, and make sure that this engine don't turn like it does, or like it did. Go ahead, give me some gas. Alright, that's good. Alright, that's a fix. Alright, the steering shaft is in, all bolted down. Time to go for a little test drive. Alright, here we go. Oh, no lurching forward. That's a good sign. See what happens with this stop sign up ahead. Alright, we're up at the stop sign here. Definitely ain't lurching forward like used to, so I call that a fix. You can see her wire loom's all melted off here. Well, they got brittle and burnt and just, you know, broke off. So got some new wire loom. We're just gonna throw that on there for her and make it look nice and pretty. All right, there we go. We got it zip tied up there, zip tied down here. She's nice and protected, and that's going to be it. All right, it's the next day. I talked to the customer, and she wants me to do something about the loud exhaust. So let's take a look underneath and see what we got. There's that. Yeah, looks like we got the typical straight pipe deal going out the back. No muffler. Alright, let's see how she sounds. Alright, let's fire it up. Alright, that's how she sounds. Let's put a muffler on it. I just got back from O'Reilly's. The boys down there always take care of me. The commercial guy is fantastic. The guys behind the counter, they're great. So we got this. I'm gonna go ahead and put that monster in there. Quiet her down a little bit. Very hard to film underneath here, but all you got is this one clamp here. Take that loose, and then you just take these loose, flip that up out of the way, pull this side out. The truck is high, but it ain't that high. Take that out. And then just jiggle this pipe out of here. All right. And there's that. Alright, I cut that end off of there because this inlet side is really big. The pipe that I need to slide it onto actually fits inside this pipe. So this is way too big. So I just cut this. I'll weld that on, and then we got that clamp to go onto here, and then we'll figure something out for that. All right, I got that all ground down all the way around. Nice metal. Let's get to welding. Now, I never claimed to be a good welder, but I can put two pieces of metal together. So, there we have it. She's all welded up. Now we're gonna put it on the car and then measure for the tailpiece, because I still got to cut that because I want to reuse all of the hangers. So, we'll get this in, take another measurement, and then cut that. Zuno. Pretty good welder. Been real good to me. Now we got to put this part onto here. And as you can tell, it's quite a bit bigger. But it is after the muffler, so I think what I'll do is I'll just maybe I'll just cut a slit in here and see how that works. Alright, cut that slit in it, and now it fits on real nice. Now you can't even slide it on easy. Well, you can pretty easy, but you get the point. Now I just need to get a clamp for that, and should be good. Alright, I put that slit on the wrong side. That's actually where the exhaust pipe goes down. So I made 4 more slits on the side that I'm supposed to be on, and then we'll grind all that down and start again. All live here, folks. You get to see the mistakes too. Alright, I decided to just weld it on. No clamp. So I'll clean that up with the wire brush, and then we'll throw it on. Alright, she's all on there. I even covered up that little slit I made in there. Probably lose a few points at the car show, but at least we tried. Let's go throw it in. Alright, there we go. Clamps on. Muffler's in, finished product. Let's go see how she sounds. Oh yeah, she's gonna love that. Now she's nice and quiet. Much better. Well, folks, that's going to do it for this one. We got her humming, nice and quiet like the customer wanted. StabiliTrak lights off, motor mounts on. You don't have that thumping or that thrusting forward. And I think she's going to be pleased. All right, folks, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.